Hey, what's up guys? How's it going? This is Freaky Rob. I'm here with my good friends from Guitarcenter, and today we're checking out the Fender Vintera III mid-60s Jazzmaster. The instances where I require a Jazzmaster rely on the music and sometimes the vibe. I like a Jazzmaster in situations that require a little bit more rhythm, or to be honest, a little bit more mellow or subtle guitar tones, such as jazz or like experimental hip hop and R&B. This guitar has a really good fit there. It's an offset guitar, meaning that the body is offset. It's not your typical guitar body. And the way that I see music, I kind of color music according to what I see and what I feel. And this guitar, just even the shape, the way it makes me play, it would allow me to color the song differently. Another thing that makes this guitar really cool are the pickups. These Jazzmaster pickups are, to me, kind of in between a single coil and a humbucker pickup, because they give me the spank and the brightness from the single coil that I love, but they also have the warmth from a humbucker that I really, really love. And you put those together and you can get a lot of cool experimental tones, which is why I feel like it's a great fit for that type of music. I have done gigs before where there were not guitar parts in the music. I've been blessed to work with people such as Kendrick Lamar and Steve Lacy and SZA. And some of the times I got the music, I literally had to make myself valuable. Like, how can I add to this without taking away from what's there? Having a Jazzmaster really allowed me to be unique in these situations because I was coming up with tones that you could really only achieve from a Jazzmaster because of how it's set up and the electronics. For instance, this guitar has a 3-way pickup switch, which is, of course, back pickup, them both together, and then the neck pickup. The Jazzmaster also features this really cool rhythm circuit, which we'll get into soon, but that also has even more tonal capability. Some of the tests that I will put a Jazzmaster through for sure are the rhythm circuit. These can be great for rhythm, whether it's single note stuff, whether it's chording, but more so lighter rhythm parts like James Brown, Parliament, Rick James, like those type of parts. It works really good for that type of stuff. And also, I love a Jazzmaster that can actually play jazz. A lot of people don't play jazz on Jazzmasters, but hence the name, that is what they are for. You can roll the tone off completely off of this thing, or you can have it be bright. And I feel like, again, it's just that versatility that allows you to really use this thing, you know? So for this portion, I'm going to play a rhythm part, but I'm going to take you through all 3 positions of the regular circuit so you can hear the difference in the tones. But note position 2, that's the one that I always go to on a Jazzmaster. That's the one for the rhythm. So this is position 1. Position 2. Position 3. Position 2 is home for me in this type of playing because, as you can hear, in position 1, you get the body, but you lose some of the cut. Position 3, you lose all of the body and it's all cut through the mix. Position 2 is like the perfect blend of warmth, yet that brightness. You get the higher notes, the higher frequency that you want, but it's almost blended perfectly with the bottom. I still get the bottom notes in the register that I'm looking for, but neither one of them is exceeding the other. It's like they're sitting right in the perfect spot. And that's why I like position 2 for rhythm playing with a Jazzmaster. So the next thing I want to take you through about this guitar is the rhythm circuit. The rhythm circuit is really, really cool because it's like its own separate control that has nothing to do with the neck pickup, the back pickup, or your pickup selector switch down here. It's its own thing. And to me, honestly, it's pretty much just like a lighter, if I'd say it's a lighter neck pickup option without as much brightness. For instance, let's hear this in our regular circuit, position 1. Now I'm going to play the same thing, but this time I'm going to play it in the rhythm circuit. And the rhythm circuit also has its own control. So I have the volume maxed and I have the tone maxed. As you can hear, the major difference in between the tones are the brightness. In your regular circuit, you still have body, but you have a little bit more treble. In the rhythm circuit, you actually have more body, but less treble. And that's why I feel like this guitar is a great fit for rock, for funk, for pop, and R&B. It can definitely achieve those things and do it in a very versatile way. There comes a lot of times on gigs where the artist may want me to play guitar, but not necessarily want the guitar sound, if that makes sense. And that's why I say this is a good experimental guitar, because at that point, I literally have to experiment, whether I'm playing the same part as a keyboard or I'm playing a synth line or I'm playing a string line. I just have to find the tones that match and complement what's already there. And the Jazzmaster is something that is really, really good at doing that, especially when I was playing with artists like SZA, Cardi B, and different artists where guitars aren't really that heavy in the music. So I had to find a way to make the instrument of use within the songs. It's great for padding. It's great for mimicking other parts that may be in the song, but also I love putting controls or controlled effects rather with this guitar, such as choruses or different modulators or reverbs and echoes to turn it into a whole different type of world. So I was in a situation a couple years ago and I was playing a song and the artist literally wanted to make me sit backstage for this song because he didn't want to hear guitar and there was no guitar in it. I wasn't okay with having to be walked off stage for this song in particular because I didn't have a part. And so that actually forced me to really get nitty gritty with tones and sounds and just even the way I think about a guitar. And one of the things I did was I created a pad that pretty much made my guitar sound like a synth. And I was doing it with the Jazzmaster in that middle position because, again, it gives you the best of both worlds in the higher register and the lower register. So I'll just play some chords to let you hear what it would sound like clean. And then I'll also play some chords to let you hear what the experimental tone is that I came up with. So right there, I am using a phaser, a shimmer, and a delay together, but I'm also rolling off the tone about 50% from the actual tone knob of the guitar to make this patch feel more so like a pad or something that would come out of a keyboard as opposed to an actual guitar. This allows me, again, to have the guitar in certain hip hop, rap, and R&B and indie, and even like certain lo-fi records. It's like it has a place just depending on where the other instruments sit, and also depending on how you come up with a sound to complement everything. And so I figured out this sound. I got this tone together. I ended up not going off stage. I just stayed there. And the artist literally looked back and gave me a thumbs up. Like he liked what he was hearing. And I feel like it's because, for one, it didn't sound like a regular guitar, but two, I had actually sat down with the keyboard player to make sure that what we were playing was pretty much a mirrored image or a mirrored reflection of each other. And I think, again, that type of chemistry is what it takes to make all this stuff work together in a stage setting like that. I'm a producer, and I don't just play guitar. I play bass, I play drums, a few other things. And I remember one time I was at the studio and I got called to do a rap record. Literally all I had was my Jazzmaster and a laptop. So I put my Jazzmaster to the test and it actually passed. Again, because it has so many different components to it. I was able to come up with like weird little parts that almost sound like they were sampled or something, but it was also just coming from what I was doing in real time with the Jazzmaster with some added effects. Let me show you one of the cool tones that I came up with that day. Pretty much what I was doing here is I have a whammy, I have a chorus, and I have kind of like a slapback delay all working together to give me like this like dreamy, almost Celeste type sound. And that is literally what the artist requested. But again, I didn't have a Celeste at the time. So I had to just play with things and different pedals and different tones until I really got something that I felt was fitting for the record. And that's what I came up with. And he loved it. Speaking of whammy, while I'm here, I came up with this cool thing that I was riffing on, and I feel like it's heavily Jazzmaster inspired. Check this out. The thing that makes that such a Jazzmaster loop or vibe to me is the swing that's on it, and also how the whammy interacts with the Jazzmaster. The Jazzmaster is a little lighter on the whammy in comparison to a Strat or to something with humbucker. So the Jazzmaster is able to receive this cool type of swagger or character from the interaction that it's having with the whammy, because the whammy isn't being pulled on so heavily by the pickups. Okay, so today I've shown you mainly what this thing can do in a clean setting. Let's add a little gain and check it out. So in that demo, I literally just threw on a fuzz face. I have the fuzz at about 50% and the volume at about 50%. And honestly, this guitar reacts with a fuzz unlike any other guitar, unlike a Strat, unlike a Tele, unlike a Jaguar. I believe it's in the pickups, but then again, the guitar makes me play a certain way. And I feel like as I was playing the guitar, I was playing the fuzz, it was screaming and literally yelling, like it feels fierce, which made me even play the demo the way I did. It just feels like it's right in your face, but also it has enough clarity to where you can actually hear the notes that I'm playing, and it's not just a bunch of high gain. You can actually feel them. Overall, this guitar is awesome, has great swagger, great character, and this is one of those guitars where you can actually use it in a real professional gig setting or recording setting or studio setting, but also it would be great to experiment with. I think this is a really cool piece that would even probably help you unlock some new tones or characteristics in your playing that you weren't thinking about. Thanks for tuning in today. If you'd like to learn more about the Fender Vintera III mid-60s Jazzmaster, head over to guitarcenter.com, reach out to one of their expert gear advisors, or head into your local GC.